Hi, I'm going to be explaining part B of big question number 1. I'm going to explain why sine and cosine have amplitudes of 1 while the other 4 trig functions do not. So here is one period of the whole sine graph, and we label the x-axis with the 4 main points on the unit circle, so which is pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. So we graph the sine line and it should look like this. And if you look at the definition of amplitude, amplitude is half the distance between the highest and the lowest points on the graph. So I'm going to find the highest point, which is at pi over 2, which is right here, and the lowest point, which is at 3 pi over 2, and it's right here. Since these two units are two units apart, since amplitude is half the distance, it's going to be equal to 1, and that's why sine has an amplitude of 1. Now, if we look at cosine, we see that cosine is starting at 1, and the lowest point is at -1. So the high points are 1 on this side, and then again 1 on the other side, and then the low point is at -1. Again, these are 2 units apart, so half the distance is equal to 1. Therefore, the amplitude of cosine is equal to 1. However, if we now look at cosecant and secant, we can see that they also have a low point and a high point, but since they're not connected and like in a line like how sine and cosine were drawn, they cannot be counted. And since cosecant and secant graphs go forever in a vertical direction, they cannot have a height. Therefore, they don't have an amplitude. And as for tangent and cotangent, we see that their amplitude is not defined because both of the graphs deviate without an end from the x-axis. This means that both of these graphs do not end at like a specific point, like how sine and cosine graphs were ending. They just go on forever. So we pretend like there's like an arrow here and we never stop drawing it, and the same thing goes for cotangent. Therefore, both of them, they don't have an amplitude. And that's pretty much it. Okay, thanks. Bye.